nine, eight, seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be with you today. It is September the 20th. It's a Tuesday. And for all intents and purposes, it's going to be a beautiful day out there today, despite what the weather was forecasting earlier, a couple of days back is what I'm referring to. But anyways, yeah, we'll get into some weather coming up shortly. We're happy to let you know that the page is continually growing. We have a bunch of people joining each and every day, and we're excited for that. And thanks to you for sharing it, liking it, sharing it, subscribing to our YouTube page. We are currently on CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio. We're also on cklu.ca. If you go there and you click on the Radio Player Canada logo, it'll basically stream from their player. And if you want to download the app, you just click on the Radio Player Canada app logo and you click download the app, and you can listen to us and any show on CKLU anytime, anywhere on your favorite device. So yeah, and make sure to, if you're able to, and you support local radio, to support it monetarily if you're able to, and if you feel that's something that's important to our community. It's basically very appreciated and very needed in order to keep us on the airwaves, keep the lights on, and keep the equipment running. So we're also on Facebook Live, facebook.com/Sudbury News, YouTube Live, youtube.com/Sudbury News. And now I'm going to check if our live streaming on our website is working today. It wasn't last show, but let's see if I can refresh this page. No, I don't, or maybe it is. Okay, it's not streaming, but at least it's showing that that it's there. It's showing the date and whatever, and you might have to double click on it and go to YouTube in order to watch it. But we're going to work on it actually streaming. You just go to it and it'll just be streaming on. You go to Sudbury.news, you click Sudbury News Talk, and right there, right now you can only watch the. You have to click on it and then go to YouTube to watch it. So we're one step away from live streaming on our website. That's been a work in progress. So thanks for bearing with us, and thanks for being with us, liking, sharing, subscribing the video, commenting, which we're looking forward to all your comments today because they're very important to us. They've become a huge part of the show because this is, in fact, your show. And so good morning, Julia. Having said that, thanks for chiming in and with us this morning. And I'd like to give a big shout out and good morning to our co-host this morning, and that is Nick. How you doing, Nick?
Good morning. So glad to be here. Feels like I haven't been on the show in a little bit.
Well, you haven't. That's why.
I know. I'm glad to be here.
Well, remember we had some internet issues here at the office, and that didn't help things. And so we had to deal with those, and then we got those ready. And then you had a busy schedule. You had a lot going on, and you had your business booth at Valley East Days. Can you tell us how that went?
Ooh, Valley East Days, guys, was so good. It was probably the most jammed I've ever seen it ever in the last, 5-6 years that I've done Valley East Days. Everyone was coming out. Everyone was super supportive. Everyone from around Sudbury and the local areas. We had so many vendors, really nice booths, lots of decorations, and it was beautiful. It was really awesome. I had a very successful weekend. My mom and dad came out and helped me. I had a couple girls help me. It was really awesome. And I can't wait for next year.
And you did very well for your business and whatever. And did you get a chance to kind of take in any Valley East Days at the same time as promoting your business?
Unfortunately, I was just in my booth the whole time because I was the only one that really knew how to work my debit machine. I had a couple dinosaurs helping me out. They're really good at packaging stuff, but no, I had to stay in my booth. But I walked around. There was this really cool vendor with some really nice Valley East gear. Like we're from here, Valley East, so I bought myself a Valley East T-shirt, and then like lots of crafts people, like people that are doing really cool crafts in the local area, and really cool local musicians that were singing in the background that I could listen to. That was really nice to hear, and we have like some amazing talent in this area. It's pretty cool when we all get together. You can really feel the energy, and the weather was supposed to rain. It was supposed to be horrible. It ended up being just perfect.
Well, that's awesome. That's really cool. For some reason, it's saying right now on my one laptop for us going live to CKLU that there's no internet connection, even though I know that there is. It just said that I lost internet connection, so it should be back. Just some kind of weird thing going on here, and I can't. So if you don't mind, I'm just checking this out as we're on the fly. We deal with this all the time here, and Nick, as you know, and it does
Yes.
say we're connected. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'll have to reboot some things. But anyways, with that, let's get to some weather, and we'll hope that it'll fix itself. I'm not sure. It says reconnecting, so let's just hope it's going to fix itself. Right now we're live streaming, so I'm not sure what happened there. But let's do some weather. We'll be right back and with some weather and some headlines, and we're going to chat. And we're going to have a good show, regardless of what technology is doing to us today. So it always tries to do something. We'll be right back. Okay, and as promised, weather today is going to be nice and beautiful, and we're looking forward to a sunny day. We've had quite a bit of precipitation, and there still is going to be precipitation in the future, in the near future, but as for now, let's look forward to some beautiful, beautiful weather. 12 degrees currently. It's 100% humidity, very humid out there. It's mainly cloudy at the moment, becoming a mix of sun and cloud near noon. Fog patches dissipating this morning. High of 23, humidex 26, UV index will be 5 or moderate. Few clouds, increasing cloudiness late this evening, then 40% chance of showers before morning. Risk of the thunderstorm before morning, wind becoming southeast 20 kilometers before the morning, and then low of 15. Cloudy with a 60% chance of showers on Wednesday, and basically risk of a thunderstorm as well. Clearing late in the afternoon, wind becoming south 20 kilometers, gusting to 50 in the morning, then west 30, gusting to 50 in the afternoon. So these are just wind speeds. I don't even know, unless the wind's going to be chaotic or whatever. I don't even know if I want to include wind speeds anymore. It's just kind of monotonous. But anyways, long-term forecast, meaning the 7-day. Wednesday, again, chance of showers, 60%, high of 20, so it's going to be warm. Thursday, chance of showers and 30% chance of showers, high of 10. And then Friday, sunny, 15. So it's a little cooler. So, but you know what? If you enjoy cool and sunny, I think that's my kind of recipe. I really love that type of weather. If you're like me, get out there and enjoy it. And then Saturday and Sunday, they're talking about clouds, and it's hard to even predict the weather in the next couple of days, let alone 5 days from now. So we won't even go there. Little look at your satellite here, your satellite image of Northern Ontario over Sudbury. As you can see, it's looked kind of the same for the last, week or so. A lot of activity going on, clouds, things moving around. And so you never know what you are going to get. But one thing's for certain, you're going to get something, and we'll keep on top of the weather each and every day here. So stay tuned now. We're going to come back with Nick, and we'll cover the headlines. There's lots to cover today and lots to talk about. So stay with us. We'll be right back. So here we are. And you had a chance to look over some of the things we're going to be talking about this morning.
Yeah.
And Nick, and we talked a little bit about it just before going on. And you mentioned something, and it's true. We have a lot more comments now than you've noticed before on our Facebook page.
Yeah, it's getting way more busy. There's more likes. There's people commenting on the actual articles. It's really nice to see more people being involved in our local news and hearing people's opinions, because sometimes you just assume people know what's going on, or you assume they see things a certain way. And then sometimes you're really surprised that it's like, oh, okay, people are viewing this situation this way.
No, I know. And this is a really great way to kind of gauge how people are feeling about the community, because we're talking about community issues, news stories, and we're kind of in an interesting place, right? It's kind of like we're absorbing not only the news, but then how people are interpreting it, and we're having conversations with everybody about it as well. And so you get a real good feel for how things are going in the city. And so, good morning, David. And good morning, Jen.
Good morning, guys. We love your comments, and we love when you're participating. I'm always impressed and love when people participate. The more people participate, the better. Sometimes people don't want to participate. They don't want to share their opinion. They're afraid of what other people are going to think. But really, if no one shares their opinion and no one shares their comments, we're not really going to move in any direction. Or actually, the people like the Karens of the world will actually have more push in the world, because I've recently encountered with a Karen. Aaron, I had a Karen complain about my property, and because of a Karen. And it's just like, if people just minded their own business, it's just they say, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Is that the saying?
Yeah, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, the oil. Yeah, same
right.
kind of thing.
So we need more positive people to spread positivity and love to overshadow the Karens, because sometimes the only people who are complaining are the complainers, the people who are negative. So we like hearing all sides of the story. Actually, I would like to hear more of the people who view the world in a good place, or want the place to be a good place, and are actually doing something. They're not just keyboard warriors and just complaining about the world.
Yeah, no, it's true. Keyboard warriors for sure. Social justice kind of warriors and things like that, and just kind of getting online. And there's one thing to get online and share your opinion, and I think that is a step, because you kind of have to start there. And then getting out and doing things too is another way to do it. I had a really interesting conversation the other day. Oh, first time watching.
Welcome, Julie.
Julie, awesome. Thanks for being with us. And so a really interesting comment the other day is that a lot of times we vote in people thinking, or we hope that people are going to be out there doing good. Like, let's say the homeless situation or whatever. We think, well, someone out there is going to help and someone's going to do it. But if we wait around and wait for someone to do it, then someone will do it. And then they might not be the right people to do it. Let's just put it that way. Let's just say there's funding to help the homeless, and the people that are out there, because we're not doing something about it, are going to take advantage and just take that funding and use it for other things. And then we're like, what the heck? Why are they doing that with the money? But that's because we might have not stepped into it and we wouldn't have done that. But because we're not doing it, we're not taking care of the problems ourselves, and we wouldn't have stolen money or treated it improperly. Other people that we leave it to do that.
Yeah.
And so,
nothing ever good happens by waiting around. I'm a true believer that if you want anything to happen, you have to do something. And there's no real trying in life. We're only really doing. And sometimes people are afraid to do because they're afraid to make mistakes. But this is how we learn, and this is how we grow as a city. This is how we could change things. That even for myself, I'm thinking, oh, I would really like the city to do this. And then I'm educated that, I think they tried this. It didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's just by being involved, commenting, and being open to changing your opinion, I think is a courage that most humans need to take because the world is changing really fast. I'm feeling the energy. It's really intense and a lot of things are going on and we're going to see a lot of things change. We're going to see a lot of things happen and we need to just stay open to possibilities that we may have not been open before.
Yeah, I
And
think. Yep.
yeah, so that's all. So I really appreciate people's comments. We really love doing this show. I know I love being on the show and Aaron, you're doing so good and you're so consistent because that's something I definitely am not.
Uh-huh. Well, we all
So-
have we all have strengths and weaknesses, and that's one thing I guess I share with a cockroach is that I just don't stop. You know what I mean? And if you have something to do, so it's kind of like a glacier. I think you're more like a tornado, and I'm more
yeah.
like a glacier. So you're gonna go in and you're just gonna get things done quickly and whatever, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it done too, and I'm gonna see it through. But it's just done in a more maybe long game type of a way. But either way, I think it just shows how you can two different ways can get it done.
This is really cool. Okay, so I had a conversation with someone and we were kind of arguing. I'm like, so I went to the funeral of the 11-year-old boy who passed away in a boating accident. It's
Oh,
my
very sad.
friend's, yeah, my friend's son.
Riley, right?
Riley, yeah. And we were just discussing how there was someone there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's my friend Pat's older brother. She's like, no, but I'm like, his last name's not Poitier. Anyway, long story short, we ended up finding out that we were both right. So we were both arguing about something, about two completely different things, but in the end, we were both right. And that was a aha in my life that how many times are you arguing with someone? Because really all we're seeing is one perspective. And there's like a million different perspectives that we can see the world or the situation that many of us could be right. Aaron, you could be right in a situation. I could be right. And we're arguing, but we're all right. And that's something that I learned over last week. And I think that we should all learn that maybe the person that you're talking to or discussing this point with is right as well. And we should just be like, okay, cool. This was a great discussion. Let's move on. The show must go on.
Yep. And on that note too, and it might not always work, but I really appreciate Google these days because before Google, and you might not remember this, you're younger than I am, but people used to argue about all kinds of things, and there was no way to settle it at the moment. So you were arguing, oh, was this celebrity, born on my birthday? No, I heard they were born on my birthday, and there was no way to find that out instantaneously. You had to wait to go to the library to find a book about that celebrity or watch a documentary that you had on a VHS tape or something and then prove it to your friend. By that time, the argument was over, things moved on, and you still want to prove your point, and it's 3 days later.
It's true. Unless you're discussing something that was fact-checked and you're discussing it with someone who believes in fact-checkers. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to stop having this conversation right now.
Exactly. So yeah, it's very, very interesting stuff. So here's the first story of the day. I'm going to begin with the last, meaning the first one I shared yesterday. So right after our broadcast yesterday on the show, shared this video, but this is really interesting. It's a playground that was being developed. I believe it was in Valcarin. And so they're ready to go and do the work. And then lo and behold, a Sudbury developer was ready to install a playground in a new development, but half the equipment was stolen overnight. And it's funny because I did think about that. Sometimes I pass a construction site, let's say, and I say, there's all this really expensive equipment just sitting there, all night long. And how does it not get stolen?
I'm sure, Aaron, I don't think this is the first time that this happens.
No.
And this kind of peeves me because this is taxpayers' money. And what are you doing just dropping something off and leaving that overnight, where this is becoming a problem actually in the valley? There's a house on the highway and they have a lot of stolen items in their backyard and the cops can't do anything. This is a
Yeah.
problem. So it's actually becoming a bigger problem. And this is a disgrace. And this should not be happening.
No, you're right. But again, I think it just shows something about our society now, where before nothing like that would have happened, where people were, it hasn't, like these guys wouldn't be leaving their equipment there if it was always happening, and it
Yeah, but
always did happen.
You need big equipment to move the equipment. This is small stuff that someone with a truck could
Mhm.
back up and just take it. So I know in the construction there's like big backhoes and things, but usually it's someone really successful that needs to go steal something heavy. This is
Yeah.
a slide that me and you can just grab and put it in a truck.
Yeah, I guess, altogether it was worth $30,000. So it wasn't
We
just,
lost that money.
that's a lot of money. Now, probably they're insured and whatever. But again, this
Our
playground
insurance are going to go up because I don't know about you, but my house insurance went up and everything went up.
and everything is going up and it's not stopping no matter what. And so,
No.
these things don't help anything. So the developers was ready to install the playground in Valcaron, and basically saw that a big blue slide was missing. And then after going in, that was one of the first things they saw. And then they saw some metal platforms were missing. And so I guess they stole the playground itself too, the slide and stuff like that,
So
right?
it sounds like
Not
they just
construction.
dropped the stuff off,
Yeah.
didn't bolt anything. So it looks like
Yeah.
they literally just dropped stuff off probably at the end of their shift
Yeah,
because nothing was screwed together
exactly.
or into the ground. So this developer should be held accountable. The city should not be paying for this. I don't want to pay for this because this is your bad judgment that you should have started this at 9 a.m. in the morning and have a playground ready and not leave things overnight.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But it's funny, Aaron, I'm noticing so many people are just not all there. You want to talk to an expert and the expert gives you like the worst advice. The city calls me because I need to deal with something. And then they're like, okay, you need to talk to the city. So I call the city and then like, oh, okay, now you need to talk to planning. Oh, no, now you need to talk to these people. Now you need to talk to these people. Like no one even knows what's going on. Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's pretty crazy out there. So Jesse says whoever put the equipment there should be responsible for the $30,000. Yeah.
I agree, Jesse.
So, and it's, it's true. Like you need some accountability. It's almost like I also believe whoever builds our roads should be responsible for our roads.
Yeah,
as
there
well.
should be some type of guarantee, warranty.
Yep. So speaking of accountability and guarantees and warranties, the Greater City of Sudbury WSIB claims, quote unquote, significantly higher than the average. So I did open that article here. And so that's Mark Signoretti's picture there. Oh, I got the wrong articles here. But anyways, let's go back.
Okay.
So significantly higher than average. To my knowledge, they're at a point, it's at a dangerous level. That's what Mark Signoretti, Ward 1 counselor, is saying. Every City of Greater Sudbury employee deserves to go home at the end of the day, Mark Signoretti says. Noting the safety of employees remains a quote-unquote top priority at Tom Davies Square.
It's so interesting. Like, I call BS on this because we know the city doesn't really care about the workers. They really don't care. Everyone's just a number. And I don't know if he's getting anything out of writing this article, but like sometimes the city just writes nice articles about all these great things and what they want, but there's no actions behind their words. It's just words in an article. That's how I feel.
No, it's true. Well, Mark Signoretti, introduced a motion during council meeting last week that will enable councillors to learn more about the injuries and illnesses suffered by city workers. So what's happening is people are accusing city workers of using WSIB insurance and taking advantage of it too much. So meaning there's a lot of injuries and they find that there's a lot of claims. And so there's more than the
From the
average
city.
for city workers. Exactly.
For
So they're
city
wondering,
workers.
they're wondering why.
Well, I don't know, but when I drive around, I see a lot of city workers just do nothing. And this is like a known thing, like they just constantly. And what's really unfortunate is that if you are self-employed or you own a company and you go through WSIB, it's very hard. WSIB makes it very hard for you to even get claims. So if this is happening and people are taking advantage and the city's taking advantage of this is really unfortunate.
So this is a quote here by Signoretti. Beyond being the moral and ethical thing to do, it's also a legal requirement that we take every responsible precaution for protection of our workers. The bottom line is workers should be returning home at the end of the day of every shift in one piece.
It sounds like he feels like he's being attacked here.
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing, right?
Why would you
Mhm.
say this? Like, obviously, we don't want people being injured, but like, why? It feels very weird.
So this is what's on the Work and Safety Insurance Board's website. They have a safety check tool, and it suggests that the City of Greater Sudbury's medical aid and lost time injury frequencies may be substantially higher than that of other Ontario cities. So that's a thing, right? Like if you notice, Sudbury's WSIB claims are way above other communities. What's going on there? Like why?
And
are we getting injured? Is it a safety thing? Is it because we're not as safe? Because you do have to ask yourself that. Are we getting injured because we're not looking at safety things?
Why isn't he saying that? Oh, okay. Well, we need to look into this. We need to make sure that we are in a safe environment instead of everyone deserves to be home in one piece. And if someone's injured, it's okay to do a claim is what I'm hearing he's saying,
Mm-hmm. Well, he is saying if a problem exists, council needs to know so it can address shortcomings, which now council does know because it's public. And I think council probably did know even before it became public and possibly said, meh.
Yeah.
But when it becomes public, now it's a thing because now we're talking about it and it becomes an election issue and it becomes people upset at council.
I also wonder because a lot of city workers now work from home. So if you're working at home and you are going up and down your stairs and you fall down, is that you working from work? Can you claim that? What does that look like? More people are working in different environments that they're maybe not used to. Can you claim WSIB for mental health? Like, a lot of people are under stress. So a lot of things are happening. But if we are substantially higher than other municipalities, I think there should be an audit for sure.
And that's what Signoretti is asking for. He wants a report later this year. He wants the city to present a report later this year.
Oh.
Likely following the October 24th election, because it's going to take a while to make a report. I don't think the city does anything, quickly. You and I could probably do this report in a day because we just go and get all the statistics and call everybody and put it all together. But we could also probably build a small little bridge in a month where it takes them 6 months to do it. They're building a bridge on Calmo Hill Road there.
My gosh.
You know that 1-lane bridge?
I was so patient because I take that bridge all the time, Aaron. I've been so patient. Someone told me, Nick, that's not going to be ready until next year. And I lost it. I was like, what? Why? What?
Mm-hmm.
What is the reason here?
I don't mind there being a new bridge. It's just funny that,
No, but why is it taking so long?
That's the thing, and again, I'm not a fan of communism in any way, shape, or form. I'll fight against it with tooth and nail. But in China, they can make a hospital in 7 days.
Man.
They can build a hospital in 7 days from ground up, done. Whereas,
Okay, so we can build a bridge without communism in 3 months. It's a bridge.
it's a little bridge over a little
And
creek. It's a
My
creek.
friend lives right around the corner of the bridge. So now instead of taking me 5 minutes to get to his house, it takes me 20 minutes. And I
Yeah, I
can't take
know.
my side by side anymore.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
There's that issue, too, because it's inconvenient. And then the larger issue is, why does it take us so long to do menial things, just small things? And
That would be a really interesting audit to do. I wonder if it has anything to do with paperwork, because I'm dealing with the city and everything takes a long time. And then they threaten you
yeah,
that you're going to be fined and all this stuff. And it's just like there's so much stress involved and no one really knows what's going on. And then you're talking to one person, talking to another person. So I wonder if there's that, because I know dealing with architects, with building a bridge, you need an architect. Try to find an architect right now, Aaron. They are all busy.
engineers, architects,
Yeah.
exactly. Now, this is a great reason I love comments while we're talking, because we're kind of like along the same page, and we're kind of being a little negative about city and about how things are done. And then you have the other point of view too, because Julia is saying, well, in this city, we have a higher number of trade workers than that create more risk. And then Miles
City
is saying,
workers, though?
yeah, I guess, yeah, we have more trades. I don't know, city employees. This is what this is referring to here. But Miles kind of maybe clarifies it a little bit more, and he says we have in this city more departments, kind of like that add risk than other diverse departments. I don't know exactly what those diverse departments actually are, but I think he's close to the city. He knows a little bit of that, and he might be able to be on the show tomorrow too. So he might be able to clarify a little bit more.
Yeah.
Of that.
It'd be interesting, because I don't know why it would be so much more different than other cities. And if it is, then why? And it would be interesting to know about that. And regardless, we have substantially higher than any other year ever. So it would be interesting to get an audit regardless. So that we can learn and grow.
That's what Councillor Signoretti is asking for. And he wants in that report insight on the data that is publicly available through the WSIB safety check. So he just wants that info, which we can easily just go on and get ourselves if we wanted to. Probably take us an afternoon. The number of details of reportable incidents as defined in Section 51 of the Occupational Health and Safety Act. Direct costs associated with WFIB benefit payments and premiums as a result of the injuries to Greater Sudbury employees, and indirect costs to the corporation that arise from workplace injuries. So he wants those four maybe targeted things in the report, which, like we said, we need to know, right? And this report's probably going to take, 4 months to make, when it could probably be done in an afternoon. If anyone really wanted to just get it done. So, lots of stuff going on at the courthouse. Guess they had court day yesterday. Yeah, very busy. So I don't really.
A bit embarrassing.
It's all embarrassing. That's the thing. Like these I was reluctant to share them, but I was like, you know what? It is happening in our city, and because there's so many of them, I thought at least we can do a little segment on what's going on in the courthouse. People, being charged with things, and how does that look, and why is it the way that it is? Oh, so Miles is just saying, just to jump back to the last story, he says, for example, long-term care and low-income housing workers adds to mental health claims, possibly, yeah.
I also wonder, there's now, you need specific medical paperwork. So I know a lot of people who don't have those medical papers that are now claiming mental health issues. So they want to get, so I don't know if that has anything to do with WSIB, but through the city, you need those medical papers.
Yeah.
You need to be up to.
Yeah. Oh, just the process itself, like you say, yeah, in order to claim it. Like it's the process of claiming. Louise says, she says it's because the city wastes a lot of money. And I think there's a lot of oversights. There's a lot of waste going on for sure. hoping with change in the mayor council coming this October that the red tape run around will no longer be so challenging. And I think that's a sentiment that's shared by so many people. But I don't think a council one election is going to change all the red tape and the bureaucracy, because that's made through city employees that are there year after year after year. And that's who
Yeah, we're
Mark
not
Sig-
even voting these people who are
No.
making a lot of these decisions,
Yeah.
actually.
they're hired
How
in, right?
perfect for corporate for a a city, a corrupt, people are corrupt. Unfortunately, it's ego, and
Yeah.
that's what we're seeing right now in Canada. The people who had the biggest control over, the pandemic and shutting us down, we didn't vote them in.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing
Yeah,
that across the board.
So Julia is saying also we have city employees that do a lot of the work that maybe other municipalities will contract out. So that would be the company's claims for their workers if they're contracting it out, whereas city employees do a lot of the work here. And so it becomes a claim from a city employee rather than from a contractor, which has nothing to do with the city. So
Yeah.
we do have a lot of city employees. There's no doubt about it. There is a lot. And, but we got to get to the bottom of it regardless. It's not just injuries in that report. It's also stress leave. Yes, as Miles said as well. So stress leave. So if you have a overbearing manager or, a toxic work environment, stressful, you might be leaving because of that too. So who knows?
So it looks like people are just more stressed out in Sudbury.
But that's what this report's going to do, right? It's going to say, okay, 33% of these claims were from stress. 25 were from this. 14% was from that. So I guess after the report comes out, we'll be able to look at that. 3,000 employees. Yeah. That's a lot of employees. One of the largest employers in Sudbury is the city itself. That's right up there with all the top employers. And if you add it to government in general, well, government would be the top employer because you have federal, provincial, and municipal governments in town, right? So a lot of employees, public servants working in Greater Sudbury. So courthouse is very busy, and Carmichael, who is the Sudbury Star, Harold Carmichael, he's the Sudbury Star court reporter. He does a lot more than that, but he's had a busy day in the courtroom. So Sudbury woman who had been drinking left the accident. Greater Sudbury woman was involved in a collision downtown, left and later located and charged with impaired driving, has pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of dangerous driving. So a lot of the comments I was reading in the Sudbury Star Facebook page was, why was she only charged for dangerous driving when she was intoxicated? They believe that there should have been more done about it. She did make a donation of $2,000 to a local charity, and anyways, they do little deals like that in the courthouse, and it is what it is, right? So, yeah, that's true. And then Louise is saying some people can't take the stupidity that could be happening and get frustrated and stressed. Yeah, exactly. That
There's
happens.
also no
in lots of
support
jobs.
when you're looked at just a number and your feelings aren't ever validated. That's even more stress,
Yep.
So, but a lot of times though, what's going on too is that people are stressed out, and now if you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, you need to stay home, you don't need to stay home. It's like a lot of stress. Everyone's just feeling really stressed out. Then the city's probably bringing in a bunch of new rules about all this other stuff that's happening in our society, and it's just really stressful. So I can see that. And that's why I'm an advocate for some mental health support, like just even if you're at work and bringing some dogs in, some puppies or something, that puppies they help everybody.
They do. One of the people here in our office brought her little boxer puppy in yesterday, and my goodness, it's the cutest puppy. Any puppy you're looking at is the cutest puppy you've ever seen at the time, right? But very
Just
cute.
brings in so much love.
Oh yeah, everyone was it changed the whole mood in the workplace.
I know. It's not that difficult, Aaron, to bring more love into an environment. But
No.
when the city or a boss or just expects,
Yep.
and ask, like you need to give more than you take, and I feel like
Yep.
that's just not what we're seeing. So look at this next article.
Well, back to
Rebuff.
this lady who was
Okay.
originally charged with impaired driving, but then later just pled guilty to the lesser charge of dangerous driving, and then only paid $2,000 to a local charity, and basically smashed into somebody at the corner of the Kingsway and Lloyd Street. And witnesses say she was weaving in and out of traffic, and
Again, someone's not being held accountable.
investigators later found her, arrested her. But yeah, so what is that telling people in society about drinking and driving? Anyways, there's a lot of
I know.
comments saying that was a light kind of sentence or a light consequence for that. So were you already on to this next one?
Yeah.
Okay, so rebuffed for sex, Sudbury man attacks ex-spouse. So
He
this
threatened to kill her and threw eggs at the victim.
Yeah.
What is
So
going
I guess-
on?
went to his ex's place, said, "Hey, you're looking good tonight. I'm just adding this here." It's not what he probably said, but let's have sex. She says no. He attacks her and throws eggs at her. And
Like,
other
did he
things.
already have the eggs, or did he go in her fridge, grab eggs, and threw it at her?
Yeah, it was. I don't think he
is
brought
going
the
on?
eggs for some reason. I think the eggs were probably. So an argument came after, and then he threw eggs at her, threatened, and chased her around the residence, and also threatened to harm her cat.
Mm.
Speaking of
Oh,
animals,
the
and-
weapon. Oh, that's funny.
yeah, he wanted to harm her cat.
Oh no. Falconer pleaded to assault with a weapon. The eggs.
The eggs were the
Mischief
weapon.
under-
Yeah.
They're the weapon. Mischief under 5,000 and uttering a threat to cause death and breach of undertaking.
Yeah. So just know if you are going to throw eggs at someone, that is a weapon. You can be charged of using a weapon against somebody. Not to make light of this particular situation, because I'm sure
No,
that's traumatic
this
for this woman.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
man is ill. And Aaron, I started taking jujitsu.
Yes.
And this article right here makes me very happy of taking jujitsu, because you just never know when you need to use self-defense.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100% right. So, yeah, it's
They were in a 7-year relationship that ended 2.5 years before June 2021.
yeah, so
They
it's been a
also
long
share
time.
children.
Yep.
This is disgusting, guys, because people just really need to deal with their stuff. And like, I don't know, Aaron, sometimes people are just having a really hard time with life. And I get that. But, just do better, eat better, go exercise and like take care of your mental health, because especially if you have children, what are you teaching your children here? And I'm thinking this is not a very positive environment for your children. And this is our future. Children are our future. So when there's children involved, I get very agitated and annoyed and angry.
So yeah, so there was a court order because of this, and the woman went into Health Sciences North, and then the guy, so he admitted to throwing eggs, making a threat, scratching her neck, breaking a window, trying to re-enter the residence,
Oh my
and then
gosh.
contacting the woman the next day after getting out of Health Sciences North against his court order. As a result of 5 guilty pleas, the Crown dropped more than 3 dozen other
Why?
charges, 3 dozen. But that's the problem.
Why? He should
have-
be in jail right now.
Well, they have too many charges to begin with. Like just charge with some main things and just find them guilty. But 3 dozen other charges? You know how much 3 dozen is? That's 36. 36 charges. You know what I mean? Like it's. Anyways, it's just kind of it's laughable. The legal system,
is.
some of the aspects of it. So, anyways, he pled guilty to 5 of them. They dropped more than 36 other charges. And now Faulkner, the man who did this, had a prior record, which was mainly drug related and probably the reason for his behavior, I would think.
This is the lesson, guys, that you're listening.
Don't do
Stay
drugs.
away from drugs. Yeah, don't do drugs. Give hugs. Drugs are just so bad.
I like that. Don't do drugs. Give hugs.
You know, Aaron, I started doing, they're called recharge hugs.
Uh-huh.
And it's this thing I started doing even to strangers because we need to give more hugs and people don't like touching these days because of, COVID and stuff. And I met someone, just a random person through a friend, and they're like, "Nice to meet you." And I'm like, "Can I come give you a hug?" So I give them, I asked for consent and I give them a hug, and it was just amazing. And this is just something I'm trying to do more often. But a recharge hug is you hold the person really, really tight and you envision white light and you like hold for about 30 seconds. It's the best hug. It recharges your soul.
Yeah, so Cassandra is wondering what we're talking about right now. So just to sum it up, there was a man who assaulted his ex by wanting sex with her, and then because she
said
wouldn't,
no, he threw some eggs at her.
threw eggs, threatened to kill her cat.
She locked herself in the bathroom.
He went out of the house. She locked the door. He broke the window to get back in, and then there was a restraining order or whatever, a court order for not contacting her. When she was in the hospital, she got out. He contacted her again. He was charged with over 41 charges, later charged with 5. Anyways, bizarre. We're just kind of going over some of the court reporting from Harold Carmichael, who was there yesterday reporting. Yeah. So hugs, not drugs. Yeah, you got some love on that one. So here you go. Here's another court story. Sudbury man, heavily drunk at the time, crashes into former spouse's van. So
I'm just going to guess, Aaron, I'm going to see if I know the future, and we'll see if his if things were dropped. And
probably.
things were just light.
He was charged with 120 charges and then later pled guilty to 8. No.
There you go.
No, I'm kind of kidding. Sudbury
okay.
man who crashes into his estranged spouse's van and another parked vehicle when he showed up at her home while drunk a year ago has been fined $1,500.
Oh, a big $1,500 for driving drunk. All right. Okay, let's move on.
So he also lost his driver's license for 1 year. So I think that's good. He apologized for the mistake. It was an isolated occurrence. He was behaving, other than that particular incident. So the Crown and defense lawyer suggested the sentence. Let's see here. Just scheming. I already read this, but it's now in the back of my mind. And this happened last year, almost to the year. It takes a long time for things to get through court.
So he lost his license for a year. So this is a male. I don't know, but this is a male. He lost his license for a year. It doesn't look like he's ever done this before.
Yep.
The previous article was about a woman. She crashed into someone and she just had to pay $2,000
to a charity. Yep.
To a charity. That's not fair.
No. So this particular incident, a man went to the home of his estranged wife or whatever. Spouse. And then they got into an argument. They argued on the phone. Then he came back drunk, intoxicated, woke her up, told her he had a bad... He had messed up because he had crashed into her minivan. One side was heavily damaged. He also struck a neighbor's truck with his vehicle. At one point, locked his ex-spouse out of her residence. Their 3 children being inside at the time. She was able to get back inside, and then investigating officers noticed LeMay had red eyes, or the man, slurred speech, and a strong odor of alcohol in his breath. Ding, 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 ding. And needed help with his balance. Produced, the breathalyzer readings, 250 and 240. The first reading being more than 3 times over the legal allowable level of alcohol, which is 80, while driving. So His pleas of guilty are an acceptance of responsibility, his lawyer said. It was an isolated incident for him. The Crown said it's a sad state of affairs in a domestic relationship when one member shows up driving drunk.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think that's self-explanatory. But again,
Yeah.
like these aren't very, like, these are, when you're driving intoxicated, you can kill people.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do that. Like hit another vehicle with someone in it, hit people walking. I mean, it seems like they're just getting away with stuff.
Yeah. So because that didn't happen, we're like, okay, you lost your license for 1 year. That's fine. But if he would have just hit a kid, then we'd all be really upset and we'd want him in jail right away. But why do we have to wait till that happens? And sometimes they don't even stay in jail. I understand it's hard, but we need to be a little bit strict. Drinking and driving is really bad, and we need to be really strict on that. And also, though, for this area, we don't really have a lot of transportation, especially in the valley. That's a problem. We don't
Yeah.
even have cab, and
Mhm.
it's $60 for a cab to get to town. So
Ouch.
this is a
Well-
problem.
Well, I know Louise is also saying, yeah, it needs to be tougher. Like put them in jail like for 30 days right after, and then they can't go to work. They're losing wages, blah, blah, blah. Now that would really kind of send a message home, right? And whatever. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of those comments were on the original Sudbury Star Facebook page too that I was reading. A lot of people saying, why are they getting away with so much when they're driving intoxicated? So the Sudbury jail is full and falling apart, which is true. It is. It's known as one of the worst jails in the area.
Our jail?
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah,
Wow.
apparently, I don't know. I heard stories of rats and whatever. It's pretty bad. So someone was talking about a new jail possibly.
Only $200 million it's going to cost us.
Hey, we can put a library jail together. How about that?
Oh, that
library.
would be a great idea for them.
Yep. Well, for sure.
They would actually use the library.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
we should let the jail people use the library downtown.
Great idea. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
So the last 60 years, Miles is saying, is his guess, motor vehicle has been a more dangerous weapon than guns. Oh, for sure. I think statistics do show that, for sure.
Mhm.
And there's a big movement out there to ban guns. So obviously you're not going to ban cars. So
Yeah.
here you have door-to-door campaigner running for city council, Michael Perron. He's running in Ward 5?
I
Yeah,
think that's
Ward
my
5.
ward.
Yeah, it is. So before registering to become a candidate for Ward 5 in the next month's municipal election, he studied the Municipal Act and met with select current and former members of council to understand the commitments of the role. In his opinion, the greatest elected officials are those that do well at quote unquote representing the public and the well-being and interest of our municipality. So he's been going door to door quite a bit because he strives to be informed and effective and an informed and an effective representative. He joined the City of Sudbury's Chamber of Commerce's Municipal Advocacy Committee and the Valley East Community Action Network. After officially registering as a candidate, he began meeting with business owners and members of the public through social media platforms, email, phone calls, coffee shops, and knocking on doors. Did he knock on your door as far as you know, Nick?
No, I'm going to message him, though, and tell him he hasn't knocked on my door.
Ah,
I'd like to talk to him. I think this is my friend's friend. And we were just talking. Like, we don't even know who else is running in our ward because all we see are Mike Perrin's signs everywhere. So he's doing good. He's also not bad to look at, Aaron. Like, he looks like a good guy. He looks like a good guy. This is a really good photo.
so you're saying he's good looking.
Well, like he's
He's a
okay.
good looking guy is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like he shines, he doesn't look like
Oh, so it's
I
not
don't know.
just looks alone. He kind of has this,
No.
like he's a good guy look as well as
Yeah.
being good looking.
Yeah. So am I in ward? I need to figure out what ward I'm in.
You are in that ward.
I'm in Ward 5.
Yeah. The boundary is kind of just past you.
Yes.
And so I might be in Ward 6. You're in Ward 5. So, yeah. Hanmer's Ward 5, but old Hanmer's in Ward 6. It's weird. Anyways, we got the map. We'll show the map. It's you could live across the street from someone and be in a different ward in that neck of the woods. It's so weird. Yeah. But
no, I think I'm in Ward 6.
Someone's saying you're in Ward 6, yeah. Oh, Natalie's saying
I'm in
you're
Ward
6. So, right off Cote Boulevard.
Renee Lapierre. Mike is only one versus Mike Kerwin. Mr. Kerwin. Oh, well, I'm voting for Mike for sure. Well, no, it's not my ward, but.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry,
Anyways.
Kerwin.
So here's another one. Greater City Council could use a nurse's touch. Headline, Sudbury Star. By Jeanette Trottier. The idea that nurses participating in politics is a novel one. Why does this frighten some people while inspiring others? Perhaps it's the different perspectives on nurses and the work they conduct. Since Florence Nightingale, nursing practice has changed. A bunch of stuff. I just don't know. I didn't get a chance to read this article ahead of time, and it's not coming right out and saying who this nurse is that's running. Okay, it's just going through all of the Ward 6 candidates here. So, and I'm sure Natalie's going, I know what this article is about. I read it. Because it's
Natalie's running for Ward 7.
7, there you go. Okay, that's right too. Anyways, it's too many wards to keep track of, too many candidates. And, but I got the map all ready to go. I was ready to study it, ready to know everything there was to know about it. Kind of slipped away from me. But you can read up.
It would be interesting if these counselors, I wonder if this happens, but it would be cool if if I'm going to vote for this person because this person has the same view as all these other people in the other wards, and they're working together because when I vote for one person, well, that's just one person. But if I vote for one person and I know you're working with 6 others, we're actually going to make more moves. So I hope that they think about that stuff and are more strategic and maybe even sharing that type of thing on their platform that, hey, Ward 7, Ward 5, Ward 4, we're all working. We all have the same views. These are the same issues that we are seeing, and we are going to work together. So by voting for Natalie, you're actually voting for blah, 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 and we're now a big group, and we're going to strive together to make the city a better place.
I think it's a little too late. Little too late for that, I think, for this election. But yes, I thought the same thing. It would be very strategic for a group to kind of get together and do that. I think it's kind of late to just start that process now, and I don't think anyone's really doing that. But anyways, it's
they just have to have
great
a
idea.
phone call and be like, "Hey, do you?"
No, it's true. Yeah, it's true. See, here's me speaking like a glacier and you speaking like a tornado, right? Because you're
tornado.
Like, come on,
it's done.
Be done. I'm like, yeah, well, maybe next time because it's going to take some time. Same result, different way of getting to it. Anyways, thanks, Nick, for being on today. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. It's our time is now up for Sudbury News Talk. We're not on CKLU right now just because of some reason I have no idea about. But so Natalie does say it is happening. So we'll have more on that, possibly from her if you want to get in touch with Nick and maybe let her know what's happening. We can have that on the next show and update everybody. Okay, thanks for joining us, everyone. Hopefully you have a great day, and we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow with Sudbury News Talk. And thanks again, Nick, and thanks all y'all.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Ciao.